Hi everyone and welcome back. In this video, I will demonstrate how to administer the Core Phoneme Segmentation Test. And of course, before we start the demonstration, I have to give you an overview of what this assessment is. The Core Phoneme Segmentation Assessment or test is an individually administered diagnostic assessment designed for students in grade 2 and above who are experiencing reading difficulties. And these reading difficulties, they cannot be explained by mere English proficiency or by a limited exposure to instruction. The assessment measures a student's ability to segment words or spoken words, that is, into their individual phonemes or speech sounds, and it typically takes 5 to 10 minutes to administer. Now, the purpose of this assessment is to determine whether weaknesses in phonological awareness, specifically phoneme segmentation, may be contributing to a student's reading or spelling difficulties. This assessment, however, should be administered after evaluating the student's comprehension, oral reading fluency, and phonics skills. Remember, in our previous videos, I have been mentioning that when we're administering these assessments to this age group or grade level, you will start from the highest until you get to the lowest, because the objective is to find the lowest unmastered skill for that student. So we'll start assessing comprehension first, then we assess for fluency, then we assess for phonetic skills, and then we assess for phoneme skills, right? So you can go ahead and look at those videos that speak to these other assessments. Now, if those assessments indicate ongoing reading concerns, this diagnostic, the Core Phoneme Segmentation Test, will measure and help to determine whether deficits in phoneme segmentation are the underlying cause. Now, there are some materials that you will need in order to administer this assessment. You will gather 8 small colored blocks or cube. Okay, so you'll have 8 small colored blocks or cube. Then you will also get your teacher record form. You want to get your teacher record form, and that is what it looks like. And again, we're still looking at a 4th grade student as we get to the example. You will also need a quiet workspace free from distractions. The colored blocks that you'll be using is to serve as a visual representation of the individual sounds or phonemes in each spoken word. Now, our students will not be seeing the letters, they will be listening and using their mind's eye to picture the letters as to produce the sounds. Now, we want to understand the skill that is being assessed here. Phoneme segmentation is the ability to hear a spoken word and separate it into its individual speech sounds. So we're dealing with hear and say. You're not showing the students anything. It's just listening. For example, the word sit contains 3 phonemes, s, I, and t. Now, each sound is represented by 1 block. It is important to remember that Students are identifying sounds, not letters. Although the spelling of a word may contain multiple letters, students should focus only on the individual sound they hear. Now let's practice an item. You will begin by arranging 8 colored blocks in a row. Right? So you should arrange your blocks looking like this. Say to the student, we are going to use these blocks to show the sounds in a word. Let's look at the word sit. The word sit has 3 sounds. S, I, t. As you slowly pronounce each sound, move 1 block for each phoneme. Now this is a still picture, and as you can see, we are short 4, 6, 2 blocks. However, this should do. So I will not be able to move the blocks, but I'll point on each. So your student will slowly, as you slowly pronounce each sound, move 1 block. So your student should, so we're starting from left to right. We're starting from the red block going over to the purple block. So your student should point on or move the red, saying S, orange I, and yellow T. Next, ask, can you point to the block that stands for S? Your student should point on red because that's the block they started with. You will also ask which block stands for T. Your student should point on the yellow because that's the block that they pulled out for the T sound to begin with. Now you can also ask what sound does the middle block stand for? And your student should point or pull out the orange block and say I, because that's the block that they pulled out initially. Finally, ask the student to say all 3 sounds together. So your student should point and say S, I, T. Now you will introduce the word shop. Let's look at practice item number 2. And we spoke about 1 block or 1 sound that has more than 1 letter. And that is why we're not focusing on letters, but we're focusing on the sound. So you may say, no, it's your turn. If you wanted to show the word shop, how many sounds does it have? Use the blocks to show me. Starting from left to right again with our red block, your student should touch the red for sh, orange and p, and yellow p. All right, you see how easy it is for you to confuse the sounds with the letters. So your student should pull out 3 blocks, red, orange, and yellow. Each block representing the sounds, each sound in the word shop, sh, p, shop. Now allow the student to respond independently. If the student is unable to segment the word correctly, model the task by saying each phoneme individually. Sh, p. Move 1 block for each sound as you model the segmentation. Then ask, what are the 3 sounds in shop? And your student should be able to tell you. Then you'll ask, which block stands for P? Or yellow block will stand for P. P. If the student uses 4 blocks instead of 3, remind them that they should focus on the sounds they hear, not the number of letters used to spell the word. So you have to be mindful of those students who know exactly how the word is spelled. And because they already have that mental image of the word shop, they might as well go ahead and pull out 4 blocks, each representing each letter in the word rather than the sound. So you have to sound, yes. So you have to bear that in mind. Now you are free to begin the assessment once your student understands and clearly demonstrates an understanding of the task. Begin administering the 15 test items. During testing, present one word at a time. Ask the student to separate the word into its individual sounds. Record each response on the teacher record form and provide only general encouragement, such as keep going or do your best. Do not indicate whether responses are correct or incorrect. If the student answers 5 consecutive test items incorrectly, discontinue the assessment as directed in the testing protocol. Now let's look at an assessment. This is what your teacher form will look like. You'll write your student name, the grade, and the date the assessment or test is being administered. Again, your date is very important because we also look at the time of the year that the assessment is administered in order to interpret your data accurately. Okay, so here we have our 15 test item. Thumb, skate, Shrek, large, you name it. All right, the instruction is there. You will read your instruction and you will follow same. You, for each test item, circle a plus to indicate correct response or minus to indicate incorrect response. All right, this is what your teacher form looks like. Now let's look at an assessment that was previously done. Again, we are still working with our student Kaden in 4th grade, and Kaden was given these test items. For the word thumb, Kaden correctly gave the sounds in the word thumb. He correctly represented the sounds using the colored blocks. For the word skate, Kaden incorrectly represents those sounds because he gave us 1 block to represent the beginning sound in skate. So instead of segmenting and giving us or identifying, using the blocks to identify the sounds sk, a, t, he used 1 block to identify the beginning sound for sk and not just s. For Shrek, Kaden identified those sounds. He was able to show those sounds using the blocks as well as large. However, for drop, we see where he used 1 block to identify the beginning sound in drop instead of the d sound. All right, so you will put your notes and the arrow. It's very important to write the arrow instead of just putting a plus or minus. You write the error that the student made. Write exactly what the student did on your teacher form in order to score that student accurately. Awesome. Now let's talk about scoring the assessment. After administering all test items, count the total number of correct responses out of 15. So we're looking at Caden, and out of 15 items, Caden got 6 items correct. You will record the student score on both the student profile form and the class record form for ongoing progress monitoring and instructional planning. Great. So that's the importance of recording this information. But the important thing, or the main reason for administering this assessment, is to interpret the results. We have to know what to do with this data. Now, the student performance is interpreted using the established performance levels. And let's look at that. All right. For grade 2 in spring, again, I did say to you, the date is very important because it tells the time of the year that the student was assessed. Now, after administering this assessment, for a student in grade 2, if you administered for grade 2, you would look at this section of the table. All right. So for a grade 2 student in spring, this is where you will look to interpret your data. But because we're working with a 4th grade student, this is where we're looking. Therefore, for our student Caden to be at the benchmark level of performance, he's expected to get at least 14 items correct out of the 15. Let's check if Caden is at the benchmark. He got 6 items correct, therefore he is not at the benchmark level. To check if our student is at the strategic level, he must get at least 11 items correct, or 11 to 13 items, but at least 11, right? Is Caden at the strategic level? No, because he got 6 items correct. Therefore, we know our student will be at the intensive level because he got 0 to 10 items correct, between 0 to 10 items, and he got 6 items correct. So our student is at the intensive level, not at the benchmark where we want him to be. Therefore, this data and its interpretation is telling us that our student is in need of explicit systematic instruction or intervention. Now, a student whose scores fall within the strategic or intensive range will benefit from targeted explicit instruction in phonological awareness. Instruction should include frequent opportunities to practice phoneme segmentation using evidence-based strategies such as say it and move it. These instructional routines will help students strengthen their awareness of individual speech sounds and supporting improvements in decoding, spelling, and overall reading development. In closing, guys, the Core Phoneme Segmentation Test is a valuable diagnostic assessment that helps identify whether phonological awareness deficits are contributing to a student's reading difficulties. By administering the assessment consistently, scoring accurately, and interpreting results using the established performance benchmarks, educators can make informed instructional decisions and provide targeted interventions that address students' specific learning needs. Thank you for watching this demonstration of the Core Phoneme Segmentation Test. I will see you in the next video.